in my opinion, there's one key adjustment that Dmitry made that really opened up and turned the fight in his favor. And we're going to take a look at it right now. So, for those who watched the fight, Dmitry had a very strong first and second round, a good third round as well. He was primarily countering Artur's jab and mixing different things in. But as we all know who watched the fight, in those middle rounds, 4, 5, 6, 7, Artur really came on strong. And in those rounds, Dmitry did not have the timing of Artur's right hand. You know, Artur's not the fastest puncher, but he doesn't break his base and he has excellent technique. The right hands just come. So here's an overhand right. He also was throwing some to the body. He was throwing it straight and is coming off a great, usually a double jab or some sort of lead hand that's straight into the point. And as we all know, he's a huge power puncher. So it's really hard to sit down and relax and get the timing of the right hand. So in these rounds, these middle rounds, Dmitry wasn't able to get the timing. So we can see him just cover up on that first right hand. Here, Artur comes with a lead uppercut, a nice variation from a lead hand. The right hand comes, Dmitry tries to step back, but gets clipped on the top of the head. Here's another example off the double jab from Artur. Right hand over the top. So Dmitry's getting hit with this right hand, and even a jab like that probably feels like a right hand off Dmitry Bivol. And another right hand. Here's another example in round 5. A double jab and a right hand straight down the pipe. So Dmitry's covering up, but he's getting hit with these shots, either bouncing off the gloves or actually taking the shot, because Artur's punches break the guard as well. So he doesn't have the timing for it, and that's allowing Artur to come forward off that great double jab, throw a right hand that's, while it's not the most snappy, fast right hand, it ends up being that because of the power. And even more than that, he doesn't load up on it. He understands he has power, and he's very disciplined and humble in that way that he's just going to throw it. That makes it, very difficult to counter. So he's having great success throwing that right hand. And Dmitry is not able to counter it. So Artur is able to put on this pressure, throwing primarily a 1-1-2. And we can see, because Dmitry can't counter the right hand, Artur's pressure just starts growing and growing and growing. And other things are available, like that body shot, because of his ability to close the distance and land the right hand like this. Again and again, right? You guys saw this one as well. Right hand over the top, clipping Dmitry. Right hand here, right hand again. And he's able to work, close the distance. And even right here, again, variations of right hand. Straight down the pipe, to the body when Dmitry's circling out, overhand rights over the top of Dmitry's jab. Everything's working really well. Okay, and here's just another view of a beautiful attack by Dmitry Bivol, coming with the left uppercut and the right hand able to clip Dmitry over the top. Another view of it. So something that I say on this channel over and over again is there's patterns in a fight. Certain things will happen over and over again. And that's how adjustments can be made or not made. That's how fights can be won or lost. So here we go again. A 1-2. Dmitry Bivol is so effective with a 1-2, a 1-1-2. That's something that needs to be studied. Even though he lost this fight, and it's arguable for some people, look how effective the top 2 light heavyweights, the last, I don't know off the top of my head, 10 years at least for sure, can be with a 1-2, a 1-1-2. But anyway, here we go with a similar thing. The right hand over the top, just clipping Dmitry. Double jab, right hand. Now this one lands more on the guard, but Dmitry's not being able to counter that right hand from Dmitry Bivol. And it's primarily coming from that 1-1-2. And like I said before, it opens up everything else. It opens up the pressure. Because if you're not getting countered, it's easy to come and work and apply it's easy to come and work and apply that pressure that just takes your air away if you're Dmitry, especially with shots like this from a monster like Better Beef. Okay, so as most of us saw, I think rounds 4, 5, 6, 7 were all clearly Better Beef rounds. At the end of round 7, right here, 46 seconds left in the fight, this is where the fight is going to be changed in Bivol's favor. Here's the first time the right hand comes and Dmitry has his distance right for the step back off the back foot of the right hand. So he's not able to counter on that one, but if we check it out only 10 seconds, 15 seconds later, it's not the best angle, but we can see Better Beef comes with his jab, a right hand. Dmitry takes a small step back and parries with the lead arm, and he's able to counter with a 1-2-3. Okay, that's giving him some confidence, and he's able to work off that. But that whole sequence was started by getting the distance, getting the timing of Better Beef's right hand and allowing him to work. If Dmitry can time your jab and your right hand, it's going to be very hard for the opposition. So the first 3 rounds, he's timing Better Beef's jab really well. But as Better Beef came on with the pressure and adding the right hand, Dmitry wasn't able to time that right hand. And with a massive puncher like Better Beef, you can't be getting clipped clean all the time. And even again at the end of round 7, we can see the exact same sequence happening. Dmitry is getting the distance of the right hand. Boom, 2-punch combination. So that round was clearly a Better Beef round, but Dmitry's walking to the corner with some confidence, saying, okay, I think I have the distance and the timing of the right hand. And as we'll see, rounds 8, 9, 10, 11, pretty much the end of the fight, it's all going to be instances of him countering the right hand, whether it's a step back, that's the most of it, in like the Soviet school of boxing, it's called chelnok, right? Stepping back, stepping forward, stepping back. Pendulum step is another way to think about it. But whether it's that, or as we'll see, there'll be some different variations. But that's the change in the fight that changed the fight for Dmitry. He made that adjustment. He got the timing of the right hand. Better Beef wasn't able to make a secondary adjustment to the level that Bivol did. So let's take a look at these examples. It's going to happen over and over again for the rest of the fight. Stepping back from the right hand, counterpunch. And pay attention to that. Okay, so Better Beef added this from the first fight to the second fight as Dmitry exits laterally to his left, to Better Beef's right. He's been throwing this body shot really to the hip of Bivol for the whole fight. And for those of you who have been in the ring and move, it's a devastating shot. So Better Beef still landing that. It's a great shot that he added from the first fight. But here we go. Another interaction. Stepping back off the right hand. And because both of these guys are so sound positionally, if you make one of them miss like this, now Bivol's going to be able to work. And Better Beef is such a great fighter, even he breaks his position a bit. It's almost barely, but he takes a second to reset and Dmitry works. But this scoring combination is created by his ability to judge the distance and the timing of the right hand of Better Beef now. And he's able to work. Here we go again, not the best angle to see, but Better Beef coming with his double jab, right hand. Dmitry steps back here. It's a little bit hard to see, but he comes with a double jab and right hand to the body. So right here at the end of round 8 is going to be a huge confidence builder for Bivol. Not only does he counter the right hand, but he counters with his own throwing at the same time, which, for those of you who've been in the ring, it takes a lot of confidence to throw the counterpunch at the same time as the punch that you're countering is being thrown when someone is a power puncher. It takes a lot of confidence to know that I have his timing and distance. So here we can see Better Beef coming with the jab, double jab. Bivol jabs first and then counters with the right hand at the same time. And we can see it right here in slow motion. He's having the confidence, the timing, the distance to be able to counter the punch at the same time. So here we go, round 9. I'm going to keep showing you guys these examples because I really want to hammer home how making simple adjustments is the way that elite fighters are winning fights. You don't need some 75 punch combination, genius level, blah, blah, blah. What they're doing is genius because of the simplicity and the determination and the techniques and the tactics, right? So being able to make the adjustment of having the timing of someone's right hand is what you need to win a fight and be able to counter it. Not some crazy 75 punch combination, special punch. It's crazy. But anyway, let's keep taking a look at these examples because the proof is in the pudding, as they say. So stepping back off the right hand, countering. Dmitry was not doing that round 4, 5, 6, and only at the end of 7. So here it is again. And Better Bivol catches that one on the guard pretty much. And here we go. So here's an example of once Bivol has the timing and the distance of the right hand, there's multiple options for how you can counter a right hand. Here we can see dipping under, and then he's able to work. Right? That's very eye-catching for the judges. But for anyone who's a boxer themselves and is saying, how do I get better at boxing? It's all about the simple foundational things. Can you read your opponent's right hand? Can you get the distance right? Are you disciplined enough to look for that? Do you have a couple, 3, 4, no more than that, you don't need more than that, variations for how you're going to counter a right hand, right? We've seen Dmitry, he can counter at the same time. He can take that half step back and counter afterwards. He can slip the right hand and come back to center ring and then work. So here's another example, 53 seconds left of round 9. We're actually going to see 2 examples of the same thing happen. So stepping back with the right hand, he works. Then again, when he works, he's very cognizant to know something's going to be coming back. Boom. Look at his eyes. He's not just going crazy. He's watching. Step to an angle too. And he's able to work again. So he's stepping back. That's that in and out, that shell knock. Here we go. Here's that right hand to the hip again from Better Bivol. That slows down the movement of anyone, especially when you're a power puncher like Better Bivol. But as we're going to see, Dmitry starts to be able to counter that as well. But right here, another example, stepping back off the right hand, counter punching. And that's essentially what he's looking to do. Here's the start of round 11, and we can see so many instances of this exact same thing. Here's one of the first times that he steps back and counters from the ropes, really from that ropes position. Off the right hand, taking that half step back to the side, and he's able to work with the 1-2. Again, now he frames with a long guard, takes the angle, comes back to center ring. That's a positional win, right? Not really a counterpunch, but it's a positional win right there, coming from the same origin. Here's another example. Stepping back off the right hand. Better Bivol actually lands. It's a right hand to the body, but we can see Bivol's plan distance-wise with that half step back, and he counters with a jab. Now here's the first instance where Dmitry counters that right hand to the hip as he exits to his left. Better Bivol throws it. Bivol counters. Same exact thing. Countering the right hand. Right, just keeping your chin tucked. That, it's hard to tell. I think it did land. But we can see what Dmitry is looking for. Half step back. That one's not as much of a half step back, but coming low and countering the right hand of Beterbiev. Here's another example of that, countering the right hand in all different ways. That right hand to the hip that Beterbiev is throwing. Bivol now has his timing for that and the willingness to counter it. So for Beterbiev, he hasn't able to make the secondary adjustment. His right hand, here we go again, taking on the gloves. His right hand is getting countered, and he hasn't made that second adjustment. And we're already at round 11. It's almost over. And I'm just letting this play because as we can see what Dmitry's looking for after he's just countered that, moving. Beterbiev jabs. There's no right hand coming. Beterbiev jabs. There's no right hand coming. Beterbiev comes with the right hand. Counter it. Boom. And then take back center. Smart boxing. There's a counter off the jab of Beterbiev, which is what he was doing really nicely in the first couple rounds. There's another counter off the right hand of Beterbiev.